Uh, okay. Hello. Welcome to ETF2L's continuing coverage of season 26. Today we're watching the first playoff match of this season. We are watching Se7en versus Lowpander. At first, this was going to be Se7en versus Champ GG, but as we now know, Champ GG has folded after some drama with people getting cut, and let's not get into that. But yeah, Lowpander, the 5th place in the table, has replaced Champ GG. So we are watching Se7en versus Lowpander, and well, I mean, this is going to be a repeat of week 6, and I'd say that I don't have the highest of expectations. I'll be maybe a little mean. I mean, I like Lowpander, but we'll see what happens. I mean, there's always the chance of the upset, and Lowpander's definitely the team that you'd expect an odd upset on, I guess. But yeah, so is Turbo here? Is TurboTabs?
Yeah, I'm waiting.
Yes.
I'm waiting for my fantastic introduction.
Well,
Is that the best you got?
Well, hey, you were the guy who was suddenly gone when we went live. I mean,
Whoa, now, whoa!
I was confused.
Oh, right. Oh, I see what was going on. I thought you were introducing the show.
Oh, okay. I mean,
embarrassing.
This is so professional.
Hiipfire, I'm trying to groom you into the perfect cast of the season, main cast, play-by-play master, and you're here.
Ooh, I like the rhymes. Nice.
Yeah. The training wheels have to come off eventually, Hiipfire. This is me standing at the end of a street, watching my son just bike away on his tricycle.
Right, well, anyway, I'm sorry. Yeah.
All right. If you're just joining us, this is Teamfortress.tv. This is ETF2L season 26, powered by TT Sport. I'm joined with Hiipfire, by
Hello.
the way. And I'm also joined with Amik, who is doing all the moving pictures and all the beautiful sounds that you're hearing right now. I am TurboTabs. I think I'm your host, or maybe Hiipfire. Maybe we'll take turns. Who knows? Anywho, you were right, Hiipfire. We've got Lowpander versus Se7en. Not Se7en versus Champ GG. Nothing of the sorts. It will be a good old-fashioned review or replay of that Week 6 match. If you've been taking note, Lowpander versus Se7en. Are you hyped for this game, Hiipfire?
Well, I mean, I'm a big old fanboy of Lowpander, so I'm excited for this. But as I said in the intro, I'm not too enthusiastic when it comes to actually Lowpander showing up for this. But I mean, it's a playoff match. You gotta be excited anyway.
Oh man, I picked you to be like the ultimate Lowpander fanboy that would defend their honor no matter what situation arises. And here you are, you're just as jaded as everybody else. What happened, Hiipfire?
I don't know, man. I mean, the season for Lowpander's been pretty rough. I mean, as we heard in the interview after the Se7en official, I mean, they were aiming to get playoffs. I mean, they should have.
Well, they did it. Technically.
I mean, they've made it now, I guess, but they were trying to go for 4th seed, maybe even 3rd seed, and I mean, they had some very painful losses. I mean, the Arctic Foxes game was not as close as it should have been. The Champ GG, the week 1 official against Champ GG, where they dropped that snake water, like that. Just some painful loss after another. I don't know.
Yes, as our production member is reminding us, we do have some reports on screen for you. He is just gagging for us to just flaunt over them, provided by Gentleman John himself. Thank you, Gentleman John, for this wonderful stat meal we were about to feast upon. So we do have the head-to-head, good old-fashioned report. Hiipfire, is there any stats that are jumping out at you right now? Is there any anomalies you see?
Let's see. Well, I mean, one of the stats that you always see is the contrast between Hildreth's damage with the other demo, Ali. I mean, just 120 more damage coming out from Ali. But you can also see that Ubers is still a very solid soldier player, getting just a little bit more damage than or higher DPM than Captain.
Just a little.
I mean, it's 39. That is a decent amount, but I
I
mean,
mean,
it's in contrast with the difference between Ali and Hildreth. It's a lot smaller. You'd say?
yeah, okay, yeah, you've got me there, you got me there. But I don't know. Usually these averaged out stats are a bit. Oh, no time to really feast on the reports. It seems we're actually maybe going into it. Oh no, they're actually joking with me.
We
They're
have
just
been baited.
baited again. Anyway, back to the reports, I suppose. So. The beauty of this little report here is Hiipfire is you kind of get to see how valuable each team member is for doing their certain roles on the team as well. So, for example, while Ubers might be sitting atop there at 28% damage, like contributed to his team overall, it goes to show that he's incredibly valued, pumping out that 340 DPM per minute, the damage per minute stat. So it goes to show that the majority of all the firepower coming out of this Lowpander game will be turning towards Ubers, but now everyone's kind of caught up with this trick now, where a lot of people are kind of thinking like, is Mookie and Hildreth and all these Highlander guys really doing a tremendous amount of work for the team? But now that a couple of weeks have passed, they have noticed that the real carries potentially for Lowpander seems to be this Uber and Mr. Epic combo. And anyway, I'm talking during the rollout. This is ETF2L Season 26 powered by Esports. This is Granary, our first map. Se7en versus
Lowpander.
They're not going to mid. I was a bit speechless there, Hiipfire. Yeah, Lowpander not going to mid.
They're trying out a new gimmick. Mookie putting a sentry onto left yard here. Not really sure exactly how. Actually, it's going to be in the middle, just watching both yards. Drak going behind. He's in that Garrett's area. A little weak, sitting behind, trying to annoy the team, I guess in a Stark kind of way. But it seems like Lowpander's not, at least has not taken him out, but hasn't dropped a player to him yet, so they're just going to let him be for now.
Hiipfire, I've been in this game for a long time now. There's not too many days that you get to see people not going to mid in the first few minutes of the game, but even stranger is seeing someone not go to mid and actually build a sentry gun on second point. Playing off the fact that they were never going to go to mid and just making a super mega defense right from the get-go. And I suppose if you think about it, write it down, it all makes sense. I mean, if you think your middles are just not as good as the enemy team, why risk it on a map like Granary where a lost mid could be a lost round, most likely?
Yeah, I mean, Lowpander does have a history of not having very stellar Granary mids. I mean, they had 2 officials on them this season. Se7en, the 5-0 was just no mids one for them at all. The Nerd Rage official, they at least got one, but that was also a very messy match. And I mean, they're 2 very top prem teams, but you gotta try and win those mids. But yeah, going off of those it's bad mids, playing with the sentry in second. I mean, it'll be they very much like their creative holds, and I guess this is one of them.
Yeah, you got to give them props for keeping creative over on Lowpander here, and I mean, they're in a much better situation than I'd imagine they would have been if they did go mid. So I guess if they pull it off, they'll be claimed as geniuses of the season. But if it falls flat on its face, people might have a poke and fun here and there. But you do see some attempts coming in from Drak. But I mean, Aroma versus Sentry Gun, I don't think I need to explain to anybody what happens to that scenario. So Drak will go down, and he will probably pull up an off-class, even though Piscari is sitting on Sniper right now. But this second pointer Sniper is not really sniper-friendly at all, so I suspect that. Actually, no, Drak's not even going to come back as the off-class or anything along those lines. So it is all of the players right now are resting on Piscari's shoulders.
Piscar going to have to pick very aggressively, or the entire combo and the roam are sitting on the right, but Piscar does not get a pick. He actually gets spammed, and there goes actually Captain as well, goes down, cannot get out in time, and it seems like this might be the opportunity that Lowpander's looking for. Combo's trying to get in through the left. The battalion's backup gets popped from Ubers. The Uber gets popped as well. Raymond's here. The Uber does get forced. I feel like this is just a little bit of a simple Uber trade. And Ubers is going to be on mid behind. It's going to try to get something. The Scout's actually coming in as well, and they get Drak.
You have
more control in mid, yeah.
they've got some huge damage onto Ali as well. They just couldn't keep that left-hand side controlled whilst they were pushing out that right-hand side over on Lowpander as well. So with those two flank members going down immediately, it was just way too much for Drak to handle, and Ali got punished for the lack of flank as well. So they're now abusing the flank waves yet again, trying to draw them all the way back on the second point, keeping them holding this second point from like an arm's reach. And Se7en, they look a bit confused at the whole situation. They have clawed back that Uber, and the Uber chargers now stand even, but this is strangely working, Hiipfire.
Yeah, I mean, the strategy was just to wait for Se7en to make a mistake. You know, they kept sacking players in, and eventually, I mean, they got the kill on Pascar, and Captain made the mistake of not getting out in time, and they got the 2 picks, and they pushed in. Relatively simple stuff, I guess, on paper, but yeah, just working out.
I mean, I think they were just playing off the fact that they were playing 5v6 right now, because keep in mind they still have Mookie on engineer, so he has to move that gear up very, very slowly, and he's only just made it now to the yard area, setting up a little base, a new spawn practically for Lowpander. So maybe this is the way to beat Se7en here, Hiipfire, just one tiny baby step at a time.
Yeah, I mean, if they make these mistakes, you know, I mean, that makes it perfect for Lowpander, but Drak is sitting here in drop down here, so maybe he's gonna do something with that, but he seems to just be looking. But yeah, these holds, I mean, that's the one thing that I can say Lowpander has definitely been excelling very well, getting those those creative holds. And yeah, Drak goes down to Ubers. Don't think Lowpander is gonna push off of this, because as you said, I mean, they're basically playing 5v6.
I mean, they're thinking about having a poke right now, and Uber's just checking if this flank area is possible. And keep in mind, he still has that battalion's backup, so he's almost like a 1.5 player right now. He's trying to get in on top of Captain. He will get the pick onto him, and he's trying to force out Raymond, but Raymond's just flying away. Whoosh he goes, and he will not Uber today. He will end up forcing out his own Uber, but they decide to not take the 3 Ubers kill, instead trying to chase for that medic kill instead. But they've got a sentry gun to deal with. It was luckily just set up at the wrong time, so the majority of the players will go down, and the sentry gun won't even have a say in the matter, and they're still trying to chase out these kills. And even Flash winning out that final 1v1 against Mr. Epic there, despite, I mean, to be given fair as well, he did have a buff, so a bit of a tall order to ask for Mr. Epic.
It's just a very unlucky push. I mean, yeah, the Uber trade didn't really work out, and then yeah, just Mookie trying to move up the sentry and just not being built fast enough to block that push out of second from Se7en.
It's a real shame, Hiipfire. I felt like the strategy was doing well, but I guess part of the risk of engineer is it takes such a long time, and if one thing goes wrong and the whole thing, it's like I was watching him play SimCity, and they were doing so well, they built this entire civilization, and then the natural disaster of Se7en just came in and just destroyed everything, and they have to restart from the ground up.
Yeah, but what just happened is Se7en just walked into right yard, and Raymond has gone down, and Captain has gone down. I'm not sure if that was a drop or not, but just everyone's crumbling. Like, Se7en tried to take left yard and just got completely denied, and that's a wipe for Se7en.
Well, I make it seem like they have to start back from scratch, but they've managed to just pick up from where they left off. I guess I've just got a huge respect for Se7en. I didn't think they would fluff up these sort of these snowballing methods. They're usually so good at just preying off of one mistake and taking the entire world from you. But they're making a turnaround here over on Lowpander. They are running the Mookie heavy weapons guy, so they've got that tractor beam up. He's actually going to have a picnic over in the yard area while his team is trying to push bomb this garage way. They get a pick onto Drak, but they've lost a lot of players over on the side of Lowpander now, and Mookie's a bit confused about what he's going to really do to contribute to his team there. They do decide to pop in, and they are playing off an advantage here. They do get a hefty amount of picks, so they will get their second point, but Raymond could potentially make a push out here with his own Ubercharge. But they need to wait for their players first.
That was actually kind of a neat push. 5 players just pushing through left yard, and then Mookie holding right yard completely on his own, just making sure there was no chance of a flank to potentially force that Uber from Kisakala, so Lowpander was completely in control of pushing it to second there.
Yeah, I guess the play to abuse that is maybe get a buff onto somebody to bum rush the heavy, maybe a couple of players to do him, because he is running the Natasha. He's not exactly dealing out the DPS, but that would maybe compromise Raymond's position there, where they can't really get those players into position with the buffs from where he could stand, so they decide not to risk it. They will back off for now, and they make just a good old-fashioned push without any stinking Uber or anything, and they manage to pull it off, and they're still holding on to that Uber, but Kisakala has bought enough time to bring his own Uber back into the game.
Lash breaking in a little bit aggressively on the left. Ali as well. The Lash will not make it out alive. Ali will, though. Drak actually in Garage here, getting aggressive a little bit by Hildreth and Ubers. Ubers gets a good direct onto Drak. And Mr. Epic cleans up the kill. 2 picks for Lowpander. Mookie's on Spy. Not really close enough to really do anything. Mr. Epic dies in Garage, and I think this push is not going to happen. I think Lowpander's going to have to wait for the Spy pick from Mookie here.
I like this effort. They're pretty much just trying to be as proactive as possible over on the side of Lowpander, but I see that Mookie's actually taken some damage, so it does make me think that they know that the Spy is about, and look, they're already checking somebody. They actually will, they'll just decide to double down and go for the alley pick instead. I mean, that is still a very valuable pick over on the side of Lowpander. They can effectively make pushes here through these chokeways without worrying about these sticky traps.
Oh, the drop onto Raymond! Mookie just on top, just drops straight down. Raymond has no idea that was happening, and now it's 4v3. Lowpander does have the Uber, though. Boskari gets caught here on second, but they're actually having a lot of trouble killing him. Flash is still behind. It's 3v3. The Uber has faded. Lowpander's still in the advantage, though. Flash goes down to Ubers, but Captain gets Kisakala, and Captain also gets Mr. Epic. Now it's Ubers on second, fighting Ali and Raymond, but he will get the second point.
Oh man, Hiipfire, I feel so bad. I feel like such an anti-climactic caster. I was just resigned myself thinking that, oh, Mookie's done his job here. There's no way he could get any more stabs, so I just tabbed off him. I wasn't paying attention to his shenanigans at all. But I don't know how on earth Se7en can have a backstab like that happen to Raymond after they know the presence of the Spy. So they're actually making the push onto the last already. Mookie's trying to get for the sneaky little back cap straight under their feet, and it has put some pressure onto the point, and they're trying to stack it. Se7en are having a difficult job of actually having to keep tabs on this point and push out these players. They're doing actually it's a very good job by the soldiers to actually spam out the rest of Lowpander here. Mookie's still alive though. I think he's oh no, he must have just respawned. Okay. He will come back as Spy again, so maybe they're just going to throw so many spies onto it that they might get the cap eventually. And nobody is watching it right now, so Mookie, he could make this happen. Oh, actually, they will have Drak up now. So I think the second point will go successfully Se7en's way. So, but do you suspect the Spy for the third time in the row Hiipfire if you're on Se7en?
Oh, Mookie sitting on top. Boskari actually checking it there, checking the spot that Mookie dropped Raymond from before, so I think they're a little bit paranoid now. I think they've learned. That seems to be happening every time that Mookie gets that backstab. People just get really paranoid. But I mean, we have seen in that Lemmings game, you know, your med can drop him many times after the first Spy pick.
Oh, I think he might have been bumped into by Drak there. Yep, he's noticed him. He knows he's onto him now. So Mookie's just going to have a game of hide and seek with Drak, so they're very, very aware. So I'll be extremely surprised now. Yeah,
Flash just Flash just randomly spamming on top of that pipe, and then randomly just walks into him, killing Mookie.
I mean, over on the side of Lowpander, you're still pretty happy with the situation. They do throw Captain in to try and make a play happen, see if he can get some force onto Kisakala, but the nature of Granary just makes it so difficult to get these Roma plays off that I think Mookie has all the time in the world to kind of just set himself up, you know, try out these little plays that he's making. I mean, Granary does kind of punish his flex role in a way that it takes him a long time to carry out his shenanigans, but I think that's okay by Lowpander's book because they have a lot of time to kill, I suppose, and they are in control right now. They'll be fine with a tie as well, like bringing it to a golden cap.
Yeah, they're trying to remake the setup they had before with the level 3 sentry watching right yard. I mean, it was relatively solid last time. I mean, the only reason it really fell apart was just because Mookie moved it to the shutter door like on the last second and it died. But yeah, just they're trying to burn off as much time on the clock. I mean, we're on 16 minutes, and I mean, Lowpander can definitely hold wherever they want. If you give them the time to get their setup up, I mean, it might just be an iron wall, I guess.
I noticed another little passive thing as well. By having this engineer, they're a lot more spam effective over on the side of Lowpander. They could just spam for days knowing that they've got an infinite ammo supply, and whilst it is Granary Pro, the issue of ammo isn't quite as bad as it used to be. It's still a bit prevalent in these long, huge grinds, and maybe if they just drag this on long enough, just literally win out the spam war, they might be able to play off an advantage over on Lowpander.
Yeah, but Thalash is actually going in though as spy. Let's see if we can get anything. Just sitting here on the ammo pack by the left yard or right yard, I guess, from Se7en's perspective. Not really able to find anything yet. Just, I mean, Kisakala and Ubers and everyone are just sitting like in that little middle area there. There's actually some aggression coming in. Maybe a distraction play from Drac and Ali there. I've lost track of Thalash actually. Thalash is gonna go through ramp, try to get behind. He's by the sentry now. Is he gonna go for the sentry pick or is he gonna go for the medic pick? I think he's gonna go for the medic pick.
I mean, this is an incredibly difficult medic pick to do, because he's just got his back to the wall as well. He's even got a dispenser that he can clip through, makes it very hard for Flash to actually get this stab off. And they're thinking about maybe even getting the spam onto Kisakala, but with that dispenser and that new buffed medic regen, I don't think there's any chance he's just gonna spam out Kisakala. The best bet is just using Flash now as like the 10th class of the game, the security camera. See if he can coordinate some play with his intel that he's providing to his team.
Yeah, there seems to be some distraction plays occasionally coming in, just sacking a player in, hope that Thalash can get a backstab in, but yeah, just it's very hard to get a pick at this point. I mean, oh, he is uncloaking. He's coming back.
Oh my god, he actually did it!
Wow, he does pull it off. And this is going to prompt the 7th push.
I don't know how these stabs are even possibly going off. I mean, he did stick to his disguise for such a long time that... I don't know, maybe if you're at the side of Lowpander, you think that this has been going on for such a long time, that surely they must have be doing something on the side of Se7en. Maybe thinking about a spy, but these Highlander mains clearly still haven't learned their lesson, despite all their aggressive training. So they will do a mighty good job of just delaying out Se7en. I mean, they could be a lot more pedal to the metal over on the Brit squad, but they will get into middle now, and they haven't expended that Uber, so mission accomplished. Maybe they could even get second at this rate, but Kisakala is back, and he's already pumping himself up to 70% right now, so it's very likely to believe that he'll have his Uber ready for this second hold.
Yeah, I mean, nothing really. Yeah, they did a good job of just stalling it out. I mean, they only really dropped Kisakala. Everyone else got out safely onto mid. I mean, Mookie dropped eventually. He was trying to save the sentry, but yeah, they managed to keep the damages or the loss as minimal as possible. Because I mean, we know what can happen when Se7en gets the momentum going. But they're just still solidly sitting on second with that full Uber.
Still though, I just wanted to remind everyone, this is a 0-0 game, Hiipfire. You've got to be feeling the Lowpander hype around about now. I mean, the fact that they've kept this much control for the majority of the game and really making it difficult for Se7en as well. This is their map pick, keep in mind. So, they in a way, they're almost expected to lose this first map against Se7en.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of the maps that Lowpander lost 5-0 against Se7en. So you'd think, this is going to be just a roll, but yeah, it's been very close. These Lowpander holds have been very effective at just keeping their chances alive. Mookie gets a pick on the flank on Captain. Hildreth gets Drac, and there's actually 2 picks. Both soldiers down for the side of Se7en. This should prompt a push from Lowpander.
Yeah, the majority, I think the best bet here is if they start to blob up and just, maybe it's like a 5 or 6 man and just start walking towards the side of Se7en. And you can see that them doing that now. They do that, they force out the Uber against Ali, and it's quite a bad Uber. I can't really see Raymond getting out here. He's doing actually, okay, he managed to pull it off still. Thought they were going to chase that kill a bit more, but just too rich for Lowpander. They're going to just settle for yard control, and Raymond will have the slight advantage, but this is Granary after all. I'm not sure if they'll want to push off just a mere 10% advantage.
Lowpander's just, I think maybe a little too scared of just that push, potential push to mid falling apart. They want to just stay where they're comfortable, hold, and then just hope that Se7en messes up an Uber trade or something.
Very, very back and forth so far, Hiipfire. I am thoroughly impressed by Lowpander. Really brought it their A game, and they thought smartly about it as well. They clearly prepared strategies for this map, or maybe not for the map, but just for how they want to approach this map going into the playoffs.
Yeah, they definitely have. I mean, that sentry second hold was very, very effective. Just giving Se7en no chance to ever really push in unless they get the big picks. Yeah, Se7en really respected that sentry on second, on both seconds, their second and the Se7en second.
But it will look very cookie cutter for now. Mookie is back on that roaming soldier. He's playing with the black box, so his flank holding will be a lot stronger with this weapon. It kind of allows him to stay for much longer, keep away from the healing attention of Kasakala, so he can divert it fully to Ubers and Hildrift during these maybe little flank plays or pushes.
Seems like Se7en is trying to do the strat that they did before to break this hold. Just put Puskari on sniper and then try to use the combo to support his very aggressive picking here. Seems like he's trying to do something, but he's getting stuck out on the right. Peeks a little bit. No, nothing yet. Peeks in aggressively, but there's no one on right yard except for Hilders. They're peeking or jumping in very aggressively, denying Puskari's very aggressive peek there.
They've given so much ground up to Puskari though, having to keep out of the sight line. There's practically no souls left over. Oh, they actually get the pick onto Mookie, but I might just play into his hand. All you've just done is just pulled the slot machine. I mean, what prize are you going to get next from the flex player over on Lowpander? I mean, it will win them yard, but you've still got a sniper at the end of the day, so you don't really want to make this push in. You're really playing this 5v5 at the moment.
Seems like Lowpander also really wants to hold this second. Mookie's going to stay on roaming soldier. No building sentries on last. This is going to be Lowpander's second point. Se7en is trying to peek in on the right here. Uber's peeking a little bit on the point. Puskari tries to get a headshot, but actually takes takes a lot of damage from Ubers there. Not able to get the pick. And we do actually have Mookie on the left, or not on the left, never mind, that was drop down. Seemed like he was in left yard, but a little wrong. Another pick on the Grenchapov, almost dead, 10 HP, but survives. Captain goes down there actually. And they're now trying to get some ground on the left yard here, trying to spam a little bit, but it seems like they're going to be sitting on second here for this hold. Mookie not going to try and take any of this open ground on the right yard. Puskari's going to stay on that sniper.
It's very interesting when I think about it. If you've got such high caliber sniper players over on Se7en, it must be a bit difficult for them to choose who should be sniping and who should be not. I mean, Flash is a very accomplished sniper himself, so it's interesting to know that they decided to put Puskari on sniper. I know he's had some pretty sick frag clips over the past few weeks, so maybe they might just value him just a bit better than Flash right now. But trying to make a Girardi play, sadly his Girardi play isn't as strong as the sniper play. He keeps hitting the roof of these indoor areas of Granary, not making these Girardi plays sync up. need to take a book out of. I mean, take a lesson out of the. Yeah, take a page is what I'm trying to say. Take a page out of the Nunya rule book of Durante players.
Actually, a little fight going on the flank. There's a second pick.
Ooh,
actually, Ali goes down. There's two players down. Demo sniper. Lowpander's gonna push through this right yard here. The 7 combo's gonna get out on the left, so Lowpander gets ground onto this yard area. Seems doubtful if they want to push in. Well, actually, Mookie's peeking a little aggressively, and actually, Mookie and Ubers are now. Or no, never mind, that was wrong. It's just Mookie on the horn. I thought maybe double horn play, you know, Uber trade, but it seems like they're not actually going for that. It's just Mookie on the Conqueror.
This game is really a treat, Hiipfire, for a thinking man. TF2. It's like I'm watching a chess game. A lot of teams, both the teams here, are showing tremendous amount of respect and knowing when they should back out, when they should make these pushes, and off these little plays as well.
Well, there's 2 minutes left on this on the round timer here, and it seems like Lowpander just want to wind down the clock, let another mid happen. I mean, that's more time off the clock for them. And Se7en is trying to do something in this ramp area on the left. They're getting, or garage, excuse me, but Huascar trying to get a pick, but he's getting spammed out. Looks at left yard and actually goes down to Ubers. It's a pick for Lowpander, but it's a sniper pick. I don't think Se7en will be too bothered about it, and Lowpander probably won't be pushing off of it.
Yeah, I think they could expend maybe one player here to maybe sacrifice himself, see if he can go for a play, but they're going for the buff banner instead. This is just as good. It's just like a soft push, but they're not dedicating the Uber after all, and they get that first pick onto Drac already, but they do lose Ubers. That's a big player over on the side of Lowpander. They're trading well so far, and they're actually trying to get in from behind, drawing back some many names over on the side of Lowpander to deal with that back cap, and they have dealt with it. So they've decided to back out now over on the side of Se7en, knowing that they're down on numbers, and the mid will go to. Oh, actually, maybe Ali wants to say something about this mid take. They're contesting it. Hiipfire.
Oh, Lowpander's gonna need to keep their combo alive while they're getting out here. Granger Pop and Mr. Epic are both down. The rest of the players are alive, and I'm gonna assume that they're gonna try at least to hold this second. I mean, I really would like to get another mid in 50 seconds, but Se7en is already on yard, and they seem to be trying to contest the second point here. Scouts are edging the point. Uber's trying to do what he can, but there's Drag jumping in onto Kisakala, and Kisakala's on 90%. Does he die? He dies on 95%, and this is gonna prompt a push on the left from Se7en with the full Uber advantage, and it seems like it's crumbling. They have 2 off classes, an NG and a Heavy. The Sentry will not be able to do anything. Granger Pop dies, and that's going to be the first point for Se7en after 27 minutes.
That's a real shame. It seemed like all game on they showed a lot of respect to Se7en, knowing what they could do, but in that last moment there you showed that they didn't show any respect to the numbers advantage. You saw Uber's positioned so aggressively, and Se7en, knowing that they had the numbers advantage, they knew they could just overwhelm that gunboat soldier and just go past him, get on top of Kisakala before he got that Uber charge. So it's a shame that they didn't back off a bit earlier for that.
Alright, well, we have the next mid. Mookie's on Spy. Lowpander's going to contest this mid. They're going to have to. They have 2.5 minutes to get 1 point on the table here. They're all on the left. They're a little stuck on the low ground here. Though there's some soldier playing going on the right. A lot of damage. Raymond's actually very weak on the right. They're not getting the kills on it, and everyone's just dying on the side of Lowpander. Just, wow. This is a very dominant mid. Mr. Epic trying to do something with Talasha in a 1v1. He's very low, though. It seems like Se7en is just letting this 1v1 happen, but he eventually does get cleaned up by Drac.
Maybe they've been reading too much into Twitch chat, Hiipfire. Why? Why would they not go to mid? Well, they've just given you that answer. That is why they don't go to mid. Their mids look pretty shocking compared to Se7en. They seem to have a better sync play, playing off Drac over on the side of Se7en, so they will have to give up that mid and an advantage as well to Raymond, who survives on that mid as well, so this could easily be converted into a second round. Made the push now.
The Vaccinator is in on the left. The Sentry goes down. Granger Pop goes down. Uber trying to get a bomb onto Raymond. Nothing really happening after these 2 picks. Just some random spam getting thrown out. Mr. Epic gets the lash though through the third or the right spawn door. The point being played. Lowpander getting some frags. Actually, this push is taking way too long. Lowpander's able to get the spawners and clean up the kills that they need. Ali's gonna get stuck here. Lowpander's 1 minute. They have to get out now. There's Raymond who kills Mookie. The chase coming in from the Lowpander scouts onto Raymond. Raymond does die. Lowpander will get the second point. They're gonna have to go right now.
Yeah, it's, you can see. I think Se7en had the right idea there. They were just trying to extend out the fight, play off their the superior heals with the regular metagun, but I guess they just didn't focus down the right players together at the same time, or some of them just overextended a little bit, and they couldn't really play off the heals or just win off in that factor as well. So just good plan, just not well executed by Se7en there. As we do see a little flank play coming out from Lowpander. You see Ubers is actually dedicating himself in, and he will get a bubble. They're just trying to keep a constant fire and chaos during this entire game, because they are playing off the fact that Keskala was using the vaccinator and they only had a few seconds left, and with that it is 1-0 to Se7en. A very slow paced, very carefully paced game coming out from both of these teams, but Se7en will lynch it in the end. And I've just noticed that Hiipfire has left the building. He is gone. He's out of here. And the dream is happening. It's the TurboTabs solo cast. Nobody wanted it. Nobody needed it, but you're getting it. All right. So, but don't worry though. It's not in the middle of a game. Thank your souls. It's during the downtime. So I guess in the meantime we can soak up some of this Turbo Solo YOLO cast with a bit of a log action. So see if you can load that up for me, Mr. Production Man. But yeah, what a game. I really enjoy these sorts of slower games. Makes you appreciate just the thoughtfulness of what's going on in these players round about now. Makes it so it's very easy to read about what they're doing in the game, where it's not so much chaos going off in one go. And there we go. There are the logs. Oh no, is that the sound of Hiipfire joining me again?
Oh no! What is this? Oh
that was
no!
The solo. I had the solo cast in the bag, man. I thought it was finally happening, but you've saved the day.
I mean, if you want to do a solo cast, you just schedule your own solo cast. This is a duo cast.
Twitch chat has been saved. All right, so hopefully you've still got your little link ready, Hiipfire.
I do not.
All right.
Please, someone link it. Thank you.
I think you might have to miss out these first initial logs, because producer needs to reload them perhaps. But I can translate you to you if you'd like. It'll be very easy. Anyway, what I'm looking in the meanwhile, Hiipfire, is a very high damaging game for Ubers, and a very high kill rate for Ubers as well. You could see why the majority of all these Ubers have been slapped onto him as well, and just playing off what picks and like what little kills he can make, and he was doing the majority of the lifting when it came down to those the snowballing of the players. But the unsung hero, the ones that the stats go against slightly, I think it's going to have to go to Mookie a little bit. I think these controversial little class changes, the whole reason that they can really play off their granary game is just down to these little classes that Mookie wanted to play. Had some very nice moments as Spy, not only getting some impossible stabs, but also just being a bit of a wild card to play off as the team.
Oh yeah, I mean, the entire reason why the match, went so long before either team got a point was just because of that sentry hold that they had on second. So yeah, I would say that the off-classing was definitely very important for the fact that this was so close.
I'm trying to look at a little bit more stats throughout the game. You know, a notable mention for Drak getting 10 air shots in that game as well, for a game where it felt like not much was happening. Must have maybe banked all those in that that only mid that Lowpander decided to turn up in. But otherwise, the stats kind of go a little bit weird, because you do see some high deaths on people, but I think that might be those with a bit more suicidal tendencies, where they feel like they have to make something happen, so they just have to throw their life away.
Yeah, Jack was definitely the designated sacker on those second holds. You know, especially when Thelash was trying to go for those spy plays, it was just Drac going through Garrett, just trying to do what he can, you know, trying to just distract. And I mean, eventually it worked out. Thelash getting that very important backstab onto Kisakala.
Alright, I think that's all the logs we've actually got for you. So we will be heading into our second map. This is the pick for Lowpander. It's Reckoner, baby. Hiipfire. What do you think of Reckoner? Is this a good pick?
Well, I find it quite an odd pick. I can see what they thought behind, like the thought process behind it. Just hope, you know, it's the new map, try to catch Se7en off guard. But this is the map, the other map out of the three maps in here. This is the second map that Lowpander has played Se7en on, where they got 5-0'd, that double 5-0 official in week 6. So I don't know if they have some new tricks, or maybe that they just feel that they weren't playing very well, that official. But I mean, that I'd say a very questionable pick. I mean, or actually no, hold on. Reckoner was not the map they played, but this has been a very weak map. They almost dropped it to Lemmings, and they dropped 2 points to Nunya. So it's yeah, an iffy pick.
Yeah, I think maybe they've just gone back to the drawing board slightly, looked at the past mistakes that they've made on this map, and maybe knowing that they fixed those now, it's probably the best course for them to go into than just picking a abandoned wildcard map that they haven't played Se7en at all. And oh my god, Hill just starts off with a wonderful mid. He's taken out Ali in the first few seconds of the game with some wonder pipes. This is a mid they do want to turn up to, Hiipfire.
Man, Hildreth showing up for the team. This is definitely what they need. I mean, Hildreth is definitely one of the players that snoozes at times. Uber's trying to sack in for a kill on Raymond. Mookie actually going in with Granger Bob on the flank, getting a kill into Puskari. Hildreth gets Salash. Raymond, Mr. Epic finally gets a kill on Raymond. Captain's in lower. Does force the Uber from Kisakala. He's very low and lower. Drac goes down by through some big damage from the Ubered players, and Mookie's just sitting alone on second, capping. And they have the second point now.
Yeah, another little neat trick that they did as well during that little push-in is they had Mookie on the flank, and because nobody was really watching it, he could spam all the way from the back there with his constant little peppering machine, just burning away at the Se7en players as they were dealing with this overwhelming bomb and just a crowded amount of Lowpander just throwing themselves at Raymond, and eventually that burn just ticked away at him. He did go down and gave the 3 Uber to Kisakala to get some breathing room against all these aggressive players of Se7en.
Lowpander seems to be flirting with the idea of pushing in, but it is even Ubers. They have let Se7en get their respawners, so it seems like Lowpander's going to have to hold in lobby here with this Mookie heavy play. The sniper pick onto Hildreth from Puskari, though, it's probably going to make them at least hold a little bit more passively as Se7en takes the inside area, the lobby area of last here.
Where is Puskari? I feel like he's hot right now. I need to see what he's looking at all times. Disregard the big picture. It's all about the Puskari show for me.
Well, while you're looking at Puskari, Ali goes down to Ubers, and Ubers gets the all-important dispenser pick. Lowpander might want to push off of those 2 massive picks that Uber just got. They're actually getting a lot of space on the right. Mr. Epic goes down to Drac. Uber's jumping in, straight in, but does not get a kill. Drac jumps in onto Kisakala in response, does not force the Uber. Gringerbo cleans up that kill, and we're back where we just were. Lowpander sitting outside, and Se7en sitting on last.
Giving them a taste of their own medicine. If they're abiding by any rules of TF2. It's probably the one that Cadus wrote himself. Once you get this control over the enemy team, you should never lose it. Hiipfire, you should never lose it. So to make sure they never lose it, they're going to keep Mookie sat back all the way on this second point with the tractor beam of a weapon, Natasha. So there's going to be no bombs, no plays they could possibly make over on this Reckoner map. Maybe if they could get... I can see a spy, but otherwise I don't think Pascari is going to have any... Wait, is that 2 engineers?
That is 1 engineer and 1 just in spawn. It seems a little bit of a communication mistake. I think it was probably just a misclick from Salash because he's going spy, checking the off classes. Mr. Epic getting the pick on Ali, peeking. He's been peeking very aggressively into lobby, so good stuff from Mr. Epic recognizing that and getting the kill. And it seems like Lowpander is in a position to push now. Mr. Epic peeking very aggressively on the right. He sees Pascari, not able to really get a shot off onto him. So now not really anything happening yet. Mr. Epic though looking on the left. Raymond drops down.
He wants to kill onto Raymond. He can spot him.
He goes, the headshot, the drop onto Raymond from Mr. Epic, and this is the pick they need. Lowpander's gonna push in here. Uber's the combo on the right. Uber just immediately gets popped. No drop from Kisakala. The sentry gun gets focused down there. Mookie gets the kill on Captain on the left, just walking in on the left, and there's the 7, 3 of them on the left. Lowpander should be able to pounce on them very easily. Grenjaba plays the point. The spawners are coming in, jumping onto last. Hildreth gets to Lash. Drac cleans up the kill on the scout on last, and Drac goes down, and all the kills are going Lowpander's way. And there's Raymond on the right, can't do anything, gets Ubers, but that is in. It's 1-0 for Lowpander. I'm excited, Turbo. This is Lowpander in the lead. They couldn't do it in 27 minutes on the last map, but here it is, 5 minutes in, and Lowpander's in the lead, man.
Man, I looked at the match page before the game started, and someone was commentating saying, like, I need a reason to watch this game, and I think we've just got one. Hiipfire. Lowpander, can they catch lightning in the bottle again on this second mid? Hildreth isn't quite plucked Ali out of the sky this time. They're just... both sides are just playing patiently. Mookie still rocking that... heavy weapons guy. Oh, Ali.
Oh, yeah, the roller from Ali killing Kisakala. That was very poor from Kisakala, and now the rest of Lowpander is just gonna, slowly die without those heals. Mookie trying to get out through lower is getting, getting chased out by both scouts.
Wow. Ali showing that he is truly pipe master in this game. Hildreth might have fluked out on the first mid, but Ali, with his back-to-back pipe kills.
Fluke, how dare you? This is the number... No, I'm not even going to go there, but... Yeah, this is a very good mid for 7. They have the full Uber advantage. 3 off classes on the side of Lowpander. The Uber comes in on the right. The Vaccinator pops onto Mookie, eating the sandwich, not getting any kills on him, but Mr. Epic getting the kill on Raymond while 7's trying to get out. That's a very good pick for Lowpander. Captain trying to jump in. Drac trying to jump in. Kisakali's just on the point, trying to pop these Vaccinator bubbles. But the scouts are coming in, getting a lot of picks. But in the end, Mookie outlasts everyone on 7, except for Ali, who gets out with 30 HP. And we are now on a pause.
Man, you could see why 7 wanted to just go for that anyway. They did have the player advantage, and they did pick off Ubers as well. He's quite a menace to deal with if you go by the previous map's stats and maybe the season performance overall. So they felt pretty good. They felt the wind under the sails. They just decided to knuckle down and go for it anyways, and it was looking very close, but Ali just didn't want to stick it out in the end, and maybe for good reason. Mr. Epic just respawned to kind of turn the tail of that tail end of that fight. So they will back off an hour, and Raymond does come back alive a little bit sooner than Kisakala, so he will be building that Uber just a little bit earlier. I mean, maybe they could start working on an Uber charge for that last push again, but I don't see Lowpander really pushing out and getting second here as well, so Se7en will probably be happy knowing that they haven't really truly lost out here.
Yeah, there's not really much Lowpander can do. I mean, they're gonna have to have Wookie on last here, and it's gonna be just Mr. Epic going to second. So yeah, it'll be a very weak second push. So it's probably just gonna be a relatively aggressive last hold maybe from Lowpander, but they're definitely just gonna probably get some, get that 3 off class setup that they had before sniper heavy NG, and just hope that they can, I guess, hold the next 7 push.
So just to keep in mind as well, we will have a Gully Wash as our final map if they do manage to stall it out over on Lowpander, bring it to a 1-1. That would be very exciting to see. But keep in mind that, win or lose between both of these teams, it's not quite the end for either of them, as this is a double elimination bracket in this playoff. So if you lose once, that's fine, but if you lose twice, Hiipfire, that's it. You're gone. You're out.
Well, I mean, this 1-0 lead from Lowpander has made me a lot more excited, and I feel like the prospect of a third map is definitely a lot more realistic now than it was, let's say, about an hour ago when this was initially starting, and we saw Lowpander not coming to that first granary mid.
I don't know, man. I thought it was genius.
I mean, looking back at it, I feel like it was very. Oh, the unpause is coming. Never mind. Let's not finish that thought. We see nothing. We see, yeah, as you said, no push from Lowpander onto second. Ali is met up with Raymond, sticking up rollout. So, yeah, no real chance. Mr. Epic is on the spy though. Is he trekking for off classes? Yes, he is. Okay.
Yeah.
So, but they are doing, yes, the 3 off class strat: spy, heavy, NG on last. Actually, no, never. Mr. Epic is just sitting in spawn. He's unsure what class he wants to play here. He has gone through a bunch of classes now, but he's eventually settling on the sniper. The Vaccinator is up for Kisakala, so no Uber for them. I cannot see how much Uber Raymond has. He has full Uber, actually, I can see. They're pushing in through the right. Combo coming in. Kisakala immediately gets focused by the lash. Immediately the medic down. Sentry gun from Grengerbob doing a good job, at least getting Ali out of there. Mookie gets the kill eventually, and Raymond has to get out, but the rest of Se7en is pushing in on the left here. Drak jumping in. Great damage from Mookie onto Drak. Mr. Epic eventually dies though. Grengerbob on the left in a 1v1 Puskari, and the people are just dropping like flies, and I think that Lowpander won't be able to hold this. The point is being played, and that's 1-1 for 7th, or tied. You don't have a lead in 1-1. That's not right.
Man, I don't know what was going through the mind of Kisakala there. I'm sure that they thought to themselves, like, they do have that vaccinator with the resistances, but it's still not quite invincibility, Hiipfire. You still can die, and from the position he was so close that a Demoman and a Scout could really get on top of him, so he was really playing with no resistance. So, a bit of a blunder coming out from the Finnish medic there, as they're going to our 3rd mid right now.
Yeah, some great early damage from Ubers onto Ali, but it seems like the rest of Se7en is not really able, or Lowpander has not really been able to capitalize off of it. It just completely got pushed back and just got easily cleaned up. It took so much damage on the left and never really taking a lot of initiative for that mid. Se7en was just in complete control, and they're gonna get mid. They're probably gonna get second as well. Kisakala did stay alive though, so it'll be even Ubers going into this last hold. But yeah, that's a very Se7en seems to already have the momentum, and actually Captain and Ali are very aggressive on the right. Captain will not be able to get Kisakala there, but actually Ali dies as well, and that's 2 picks for Lowpander. Se7en's just sitting here with the 4 of them on second, wondering what happened. Where did our pocket and our demo go? And Lowpander's gonna push in here through rollout. Uber's making some space, and Se7en is gonna have to back off here. Talash is trying to go behind. Grengerbob cleans up the kill. Puskari does get Ubers. Puskari just walking over the point, trying to get as much space as he can, and Lowpander is not actually gonna be able to get the second point off of here, and they're gonna have to get out, and Grengerbob gets killed by Drak while he's trying to get out. It's actually a player advantage for Se7en. Actually, 2 players more for the side of Se7en.
It was a little strange in my opinion. Hiipfire. They actually had the. Oh, Ali!
Wow, what?
Did he do the dream hack strat where he just double sticky
My
jumped in?
God,
Oh
that
my god!
that just happened. Yeah, this Mookie even saying my medic does not know about the medic or the alley jump. ...
Yeah, I think that jump every time I've seen it fire, it's worked every single time.
Just
Every single time.
I don't know, man. Just alley, just yeah, he has done it again. Lowpander's going with the pyro strat here, trying to meet this Uber from Se7en on the right with the vaccinator from Kisakala, but both Mookie and Kisakala go down. Se7en's gone 2 picks. Ubers gets Puskari, but Ubers goes down. 3v5. The heals are on the side of Se7en. There goes the off class on the heavy. Mr. Epic and Hilder just stuck on the right. The points being played by Se7en. Hilder trying to make some miracle plays, but that's 2-1 for Se7en.
Oh, no. Just they were only just a round up Hiipfire, and we already put all of our chips into Lowpander. It was like, oh boy, guys, this is definitely going to a third map. There's no way that you know, the best team in Europe right now can make a comeback, but what do you know? They did. So
there's Se7en just utilizing the momentum they got very well. Ellie's actually very aggressive on the right, so is Puskari. They're both, the entirety of Se7en is on the side of Lowpander. Lowpander is not going to this mid. They seem to, I don't know exactly what if they were planning on doing that or if they just saw like the rest of Se7en being so aggressive up, but they are on second. Mookie's on sniper. He's gonna go up these stairs, see if he can find anything here in this cargo toxic. I don't really know what the name is. People haven't decided on the name. This area, this room that he's currently looking at, but nobody's going inside from Se7en. Not really giving Mookie much of a chance, so it's gonna be just
I think they call it crate room, maybe. I don't know. I'm a very, very out of touch gamer. I don't think I was even around when this map came out, so probably the last person to ask about these names. But I think that last mid pretty much rided on Mookie's shoulders there. They were expecting the early sniper pick to maybe get the opportunity for them to make the push in again, but oh, actually, is that a bomb attempt coming in from Drakman right now? He almost gets Kisakala down. He's brought down to about 60 HP. That is a very scary number as a medic, but decides to not pop off in the end. Only the best medics drop after all. So
Mookie's speaking a little aggressive again, not really able to find anything. Mookie's gonna need to find something. I mean, Lowpander is definitely the team that needs to find the pick. I mean, that Draxac was fine, but Se7en can just stay on mid. Mookie's picking very aggressively in the ramp area, trying to get a shot onto Thalash, maybe get that full charge body shot, you know, 170. Easy kill onto Thalash maybe, but actually, there's Puskari with the counter snipe, taking out Mookie there. Puskari just being the better sniper right now.
Well, I think he just had the element of surprise. They didn't know that Puskari came back as sniper whilst they well for a very long time that Mookie was playing sniper. So he will come back as spy now. But if you're over on the side of Se7en, you probably, every time you see Mookie go down, you're probably thinking in the back of your head that he's probably gone spy, guys.
Well, he has gone spy. There's a headshot from Puskari. He bumps into Mookie here, trying to go through lower. They have, in fact, spotted the off-class. Drak is Mike and backstabbed here, though. Drak does not know. He has not checked for that for the spy at all. Kisakala and Granger Bob are just going to get out. They're going to give the space up here. Mookie's in lower. Ubers is behind. So maybe a sack attempt could come in. Could potentially get a drop onto Raymond. Puskari's still in that sniper play, so I'm not expecting a push into last here. Ubers does eventually die, and Mookie has gone as uncloaked, tries to revolver Captain to death, but he will fall as well, and it's
the alley bomb again.
Oh, alley, but this time unsuccessfully.
Oh, but he gets that yet.
Ooh, Mr. Epic with the great headshot onto alley, saving Kisakala. I mean, yeah, that was maybe a little too early, yeah, because I mean he was on 20 HP, but I mean, that would have been extremely embarrassing if Kisakala had to drop to that.
He made a very, very, very good attempt at it over on the side of Se7en. Ali, that bomb proving to prove its worth. I mean, if it comes down to at least that close, I think it's worth going for it. And this was, keep in mind, this is a Lowpander, very aware of that jump that Ali could make because they just lost the previous round due to that bomb. So even fighting up and preparing for it, they still brought down that low. Just make you wonder if they need to start preparing these last pushes expecting the alley bomb.
Well, I mean, we've seen the first failed alley bomb. It's now a 3 out of 4 chance that it works. So, I mean, there's a margin of failure there. You know, this is might give Lowpander some confidence that they can do this. There's another alley bomb. Once again failing. That's 3 out of 5 times.
Oh now. No, the stats are dropping.
Rate. Yeah, it's gone from 100% to 75 to 60%. Ali just not wanting that 100% success rate. Uber is trying to get a pick, trying to just go through. Can't really find anything. Drag counter jumps in, but actually cannot make it all the way through. And Granderbuck cleans up that kill on Drak. Mookie behind on Spy again. It seems. I don't know what's going on here. It seems like Ali has spotted him, maybe? I don't know exactly what's going on, but 7 players are going behind. Talash going back, being aware of Mookie being on Spy, but going back to second. No worries. They'll just check their backs. You know, it's simple stuff. Mr. Epic gonna go into rollout. A sniper or not gonna peek that far. Well, he's gonna try and get that pick, yeah.
They've known that Mookie was on Spy for a very long time.
Another alley bomb. That's 3 out of 6. Well, hey, 3 out of 6. Yeah, I'm clever. All right. Anyway, but they get
can't wait till we get to the 7th bomb.
Oh man. Yeah, 50% chance. The stats are dropping. Yeah, he's not doing these for the logs. Mr. Epic picking very aggressively though. Ubers gets a kill onto Captain. Just walks into Mr. Epic can get a kill into Lasher if he just gets the body shots. Lasher's very weak. Gets the arrow. To Lasher aggressing onto Mr. Epic, and Mr. Epic goes down. 2 players down for Lowpander. 1 player only down for 7. They do get the spawner, and they do get control of lobby. I like picking a little bit aggressively, trying to maybe get a kill on Mookie, who is now on the black box soldier, but he's not able to. Oh, another alley bomb. Is this going to be 3 out of 7? This is 3 out of 7. Hildred just getting the pipe onto him. Yeah, 3 out of 7. This is not good for your stats, Ali. Come on.
Man, it's just the caster's curse working in full force Hiipfire. The second I say, oh my god, I've never seen this fail, it goes on to fail. Nothing but they're making a push-in attempt, and Raymond has no reason to really pop off his Uber, and he's not going to pop it off at all. No one is really dropping over on the side of... Oh, the Draco will go down. But he will finally use his Uber. Mookie forcing that out from the English medic. But they can't really use the remnants of that final Uber because they lost so many players just trying to hold on to it. They can't really make the push out.
Yeah, I mean, Ubers was just jumping around outside on second, just trying to get some picks. He wasn't really able to get the force on Raymond, but 7 really didn't get any picks. And I mean, then Ubers got a kill, and then I think another scout got a kill. And I mean, 7 was then forced on second, and they couldn't really do anything. I don't know. There was a lot of potential for both teams to really get something out of that push, but instead, we're back on last. We have 2 off classes on the side of Lowpander, Spy and Heavy, and we also have the Lash on Spy. Am I seeing that right? Yes, he is by that forklift. Trying to get a buff from Raymond, maybe. Nah, he's just gonna go straight into rollout. Seems like Captain trying to make a little bit of space. Where is Mookie? Oh, he has switched back. We now have Mr. Epic and Sniper, and there's Ali. Was that another bomb? I don't know what just happened.
He bombed in, but he like backed out again. And as he was just about to stand on the health kit, a roller just went under his feet and just picked him off.
All right, well now we're on 3 out of 8. The Uber's coming in. Drak goes down very early into that Uber. The combo's trying to get out. Will Puskari stay alive? Captain gets out alive. Talash goes actually down to Hildreth. Talash trying to go behind. Uber's aggressing actually onto the combo. Gets Captain. There's 3 players down for the side of 7. 5 players alive for Lowpander. They should be able to maybe at least get the force onto Raymond. Maybe Mookie. He's on that direct hit. Conqueror combo. Making some space in here by the big pack. But he is going to go back I think Lowpander's just gonna stay on second, maybe have Uber second. Uber's sacks have been very effective throughout this series, so they have faith in that. And also, actually, there are 2 horns on the side of Lowpander, so they definitely
One for every scenario.
yeah, might want to go for the Uber trade and then pop those 2 horns like I said on the first map. Mookie going behind Raymond, but he cannot hit those rockets. I mean, with the direct hit, there's no splash damage. The Uber gets popped in lobby. They tried to get the kill into Kisakala, but Kisakala just barely gets the Uber. Uber's just sitting here in lobby. Gets the most of that Uber. Ali goes down in lower. This is a little bit of advantage for Lowpander, at least player-wise, class-wise, but you're just gonna hold in lower or in lobby. But there it is. There's the horn being popped up. The battalion's going on from Uber's. The latch going down. Uber's going down. Mr. Epic trying to clean up some kills, maybe get the kill onto Drac or Captain. Mookie jumping down, and they're not actually getting a lot of frags, Lowpander. They might have to get out. Hildred gets out. Kisakala is a little bit caught, but Drac will not be able to get the kill. Hildred does get Puskari with a sticky trap, and Drac is going to go with Raymond going to the left for this last push. 80% on Raymond, 75% on Kisakala. Will either medic get the Uber? Raymond will get it first. Drac's on the point. Drac goes down. Flash does get Uber. A soldier trade on both sides. Captain gets Mr. Epic. Grenjabov gets Captain. That's Mookie and Hildreth. They've gone Kisakala. The Uber's gone on, or has been popped by Raymond, and yeah, Lowpander cannot deal with it. It's 3-1.
You're going to be very happy if you're on the side of 7 now. Having that 2-0 lead against your enemy really adds a lot of wiggle room, a lot of sigh of relief on the side of 7 now. So even if a snowball happens in this next round, they know that they haven't quite dropped the ball in this map. So, I mean, it was a nice little, I guess, plan coming out from both of these teams paused. I think both of these teams paused. I was going to say they're taking a very long time to roll out there, but I think running the conch and the battalion's backup is a cool idea on paper, but it just takes such a long time really to farm up those for those flags that you don't really get to see the sustenance from it. And even when they had Ubers using his battalion's backup, the positioning and just the map layout from this Reckoner map, it's just way too difficult, even with that additional resistance, to push out of these tiny little doorways. And the only real way they could probably make that battalion backup work is if they just get immediately in the faces of 7 there, but either 7 weren't allowing it or Lowpander didn't really prioritize it. So that battalion's backup was doomed to, from the start to really, if that was their overall plan with it. And otherwise the direct hit and the conch, it's very difficult to farm up that bar with the direct hit, because it's not a very effective spam weapon to really farm that damage out. It's not really reliable enough. So again, another doomed concept.
I don't know. I mean, yeah, just Lowpander hasn't never really been working off of the battalion's backup from Ubers. Like, they just most of the time they seem to actually like pushing into it with the Uber, and then they pop the battalion's backup, try to force the Uber, and just try to stay alive with the battalions. But it's never really been working out. And at that time, even with the dry push, it didn't work out either. I mean, maybe Uber should just go back to the play with shotgun if he really wants to play without gunboats, if anything. Maybe.
I mean, it's just a difficult unlock, I suppose, to make work. If you really want to get into the faces of the defending team to just lay out that very quick and decisive damage early on to turn the tide of the fight before your battalion backups actually run out. But at the same time, you also want everybody on your team affected by it, so you kind of want to push slowly a little bit, maybe just start walking towards them ever so slightly, just to allow ease of your teammates to make use of the buff. So it kind of goes against itself in a way.
Maybe they should have at least tried to get Mookie's Conqueror up as well, and try to maybe push with both banners, but
Yeah, I think they were just playing off a pick at the time. I think there was some little advantage where they were thinking like, okay,
I
this is
think
probably our
Ali
best
died.
bet. Yeah, that would probably do it. But
I think that's a pretty
maybe,
pretty decent assumption that Ali died
yeah,
from what he's been doing. Very aggressive play.
the only thing I could see working off is maybe if you get like both of your soldiers in, like jumping at the same time, literally one following the other. That way you get like the same sort of objective where you want to get in their faces, but you're also making full use of that backup buff with somebody that can actually catch up with it. But they couldn't really do that because they had the direct hit over on Mookie during that time, and that's not really reliable damage that you want to go in for a bomb with. You kind of just want to sit back as a direct hit soldier and just like pluck things that come near you.
Ooh, the unpauses come in. We don't have to speculate. We get to see whatever these teams have in mind right now. You see Lowpander coming in on the left. Se7en's going on doing a mirrored mid on the other side. Slash going in on the left, trying to get some damage onto Hildreth. Some spam going around. Uber's finally bombing in onto Ali and Raymond. Gets some good damage onto Ali, but it's not able to get a kill. Mookie goes down somewhere in lower, I think. But actually, Grenjabob getting two good picks onto the demo and the scout. Still sitting very far up. Actually, there's someone behind for Se7en. They have to clean up Drac there. This is 3v4 in favor of Lowpander. Captain is doing what he can to delay Lowpander getting onto this point, but they're eventually going to give this up. And this is actually the second mid won by Lowpander. The first and now the fifth. Yes, fifth.
Yes, 1 plus 3 is 4, so it must be 5th. Yes,
math is very difficult.
It works out. But it was a well played map from Se7en at the start because they did pick out the Mookie pick. The only thing they, whilst he was playing sniper, keep in mind. But I'm getting that, and they tried to send Drac behind as well to kind of, I guess, turn the eyes away from the player advantage Lowpander during that mid, see if they can kind of tear them apart and get the picks from there. But they just didn't expect that. I guess the little DM beast of the scouts over on Lowpander kind of pluck out some of these kills. And is that a Mookie on Spy?
Mookie went behind and he uncloaked in front of Puskari going sniper, and there was a fun little SMG revolver 1v1 on last, which Mookie won.
And keep in mind, he's using the regular Invis watch as well, so he can't really just wait patiently for these picks to go by. He's trying to go for a more fast and furious spy maker, but usually this proves very unpopular, very difficult to go. You have to just kind of go with the plays that you're given over on spying. As you can tell, it's very difficult to just make up a spy play on the go. Usually have to be very calm and collected when it comes to the spy in 6v6.
Se7en seems to be going onto mid, but actually the combo of Lowpander is getting onto the flank, killing Drac and Puskari. And Se7en's going to have to go back to contest his second point. They're actually on Vaccinator. The Uber gets popped up by Raymond. Kizakala is not able to save his players with the Vaccinator pops. Hildreth and Kizakala go down. Mr. Epic in a 1v1 against Salash will not win that fight either. 4v3 here. Ubers is in lower. Gets a rocket onto Salash, a long-range rocket, killing him. He's in lower, gets cleaned up by Puskari. The rest of Lowpander follows suit, dying to Se7en. And Se7en's going to be able to cap mid.
I think that was a nice little turnaround for Ubers there. Sadly, he couldn't do it on a team-wide scale. Only Flash will feel the full pain of those nice little directs coming out from Ubers. They are running the Vaccinator over on the side of Lowpander, and they've lost Hildreth. That is not going to mean well for their last push, or their last defense, I should say. It's going to mean very well for Se7en's last push, however.
But there's the Prem Highlander spy, Grenjabob, the spy man. Let's see what he can do. He gets a backstab onto Captain, gets some face stab, or just a little slice onto Raymond. Drac is actually on last. You see him getting a lot of time onto the point, but Se7en is down a lot of players. They do pop the Uber. Kizakala does go down. We do have the NG and Demo and Scout to defend this push onto last. Se7en seems like they don't actually want to push on this. They just want to take their time. They do have 4 minutes. Mookie going in very aggressive into lobby there, trying to get onto Raymond. Not able to really get anything done with that shotgun. The sentry is still up on the last point, Ali eventually spans it down. And, well, it seems like Se7en should probably be able to push off of this. They do have the big advantage. So Lash is on NG, actually. He has a sentry of his own on second, imitating Lowpander a little bit there. Mr. gets a kill on Captain. They're still in vaccinated, but they're going to have to push out sometime soon. They need to get 2 points within 3.5 minutes. I think the push is starting right now. The vaccinator bubble onto Hildreth, sitting in rollout. Ubers is with them. They're getting spammed out a lot, though. Ubers is going to take the initiative, force the Uber from Raymond. Push is coming in. Flash goes down. Mookie goes down, though. And there's Kizakala and Hildreth not able to get out of lobby, get caught. Everyone's going down on the side of Lowpander. Raymond has gone down to Granger Bob, though. But there it is, 4-1. 7. 3 minutes. Can they do it?
No. I think it is mathematically impossible at this point.
Yeah. Seeing some good rounds called, but I think they all know that this is pretty much GG. We have entered the old garbage time.
El Trashico.
Well, let's see. Maybe Lowpander has a little bit of faith in this. Let's see if they can do anything on this mid. We have Ali aggressing very quickly on the right. Se7en just trying to get onto the middle of the point here, actually, while Lowpander's on the opposite side. Mookie gets a kill on Drag, but that gets straight out very quickly. Ali gets Mookie. Yeah, Ali actually goes down to Granger Bob. 4v4. Scouts of Lowpander trying to aggress here. Sakala does go down to Captain. His mid will eventually go to Lowpander, but I think they've dropped too many players and they do not have enough time to cap these points. And yeah, this is officially now 100% definitively garbage time.
It's really difficult to take anything from this point on seriously, in a way that if you look at like a very good mid, for example, coming out from Lowpander, you could always just think about the little condition that's been applied with the trash time, thinking like, yes, but is the other team really putting their all into it at this point? I mean, right now it just gets a bit cartoony. You actually see Drac is playing Pyro, and I don't think he's really a Pyro connoisseur. And actually a nice little back cap from Se7en there, preventing the round capture from the back capping Lowpander. But yeah, it just goes back to, will any of these achievements that they pull off in this point here actually get any sort of praise? Because you can always just go back to, oh man, did they mean to do that? Did they care? And Drac actually is Pyro paying off there. He finds Granger Bob, the Prem spy, plagued by Pyros in 6v6 as well as Highlander. He was expecting things to be different.
Well, I guess since the game is effectively over, I mean, we can talk a little bit about, well, what to take from this match. Because, I mean, obviously, congratulations to Se7en for advancing into the winners finals, where they will meet the winners between Nerd Rage and Arctic Foxes. The match will be played on Thursday. And, I mean, obviously Se7en, showing that they are still probably the best team in Prem. But I feel like, as a Lowpander fanboy, I feel like this match has given me a little bit more faith. Because, I mean, they seemed very much lost throughout the end of the regular season, just playing very sloppy, disconnected. Just, I mean, Hildreth said that they were very unhappy with how they were playing, but this was Granary was very solid play. It was very slow, but I mean, the signature, solid Lowpander off-class holds were working very well, and I feel like they might take whoever they meet in the losers final or losers bracket first round. They might take it by surprise a little bit. I mean, they play Arctic Foxes. They might be able to recover from that, or get revenge for that poor official they had against them. Well, I mean, against Nerd Rage, I mean, that might be a different case. But if Arctic Foxes, they meet them, I mean, I think they might be able to do it. I hope, at least.
Well, I guess we could mull over the logs just one last time, and then we'll try and quickly close it up here as well, because I think I've got some private matters to attend to as well.
Mm.
So hopefully we can get those logs up lickety split. But I completely agree. I think when they went into their week 6 game, they just kind of resigned themselves, knowing that the game isn't super important. They're playing up against a team that's, far and wide the better team in many people's eyes. So maybe there was not much reason to try. But when their back's against the wall, it seems like they have some interesting ideas, and these ideas do work at Hiipfire. I'm very intrigued by what Lowpander can offer in this playoffs, because they just seem to thinking outside of the box seems to show a lot of depth, and it's not just neat little parlor tricks. It does have some weight to it. You can see some of it working. It just needs a little bit more refinement, but whether or not they can find that refinement in the playoffs is another question altogether. So here are the logs. Feast your eyes, Hiipfire. What draws your eye?
Well, contrast to what happened on Granary, where there was a lot of stalemating and it was a very very even game when it came to damage and kills. You can definitely see that Se7en on this I guess less stalematey map definitely out DMing just Lowpander on basic and on I think every position except for pocket, where Uber's in typical fashion trying to carry the team on his back, getting just a little bit out damaging captain, just barely. Yeah, actually, top damaging on the server even. But I mean, outside for the rest of Lowpander, you can see that everyone else is just getting kind of outclassed on their own classes. I mean, Hildreth Alley is a big contrast there. 3K between going between Alley with his 8.6 and Hildreth with his 5.8. I mean, it's just a great DM, I guess, coming from Se7en.
Yeah, I think the biggest contrast between both of these teams is just the two medics, and Raymond only having 5 deaths, whilst over on Kisakala he actually almost triples that amount of death in that server. So it goes to show that the overall plans, or I guess the pushers, were working so much better for Se7en. They could find the Kisakala picks and maybe the right Ubers to actually dictate the pace of the game. It just led to Kisakala constantly dying for art, and let's not forget the alley bombs were working here and there as well.
Mm-hmm. I think one of the things you can also take away from these logs is that that Grangerbob seems to have not really recovered from his little dip in performance in around the middle of the season. Like he's still just having a lot of a struggle, having a lot of impact. I mean, only getting 6 kills in that entire. Or wait, nope, that's the wrong log I'm looking at. That is the Granary log I'm looking at. Let's go to the other log. Let's look at those stats. Actually, he did quite solid on this map. Never mind. I'm wrong then. Well, this is what happens when you look at the wrong stats. You get the wrong conclusions. Actually, Grangerbob doing quite solid. Definitely, that's actually a good thing. Then
yeah,
recovering from his slight slump from in the middle of this season, because he was definitely having some issues performing. But yeah, getting 18 frags, basically equaling Mr. Epic's frag it's actually very good. But yeah, just it seemed like the solid play from Grangerbob Mr. Epic just wasn't enough.
I think it's just based on the game, really. If it's a slow-paced game, Grangerbob has kind of a more timid role where he feels a lot of brunt of these surprise attacks during the pushes from the enemy team. But if it's a more free-flowing, back and forth game, Grangerbob has a lot more to say in the matter, and when they're snowballing or playing off momentum, or especially if they can have a chance to go mid as well. I think Grangerbob does a lot better on these mids. And if you cut out mids, I guess for him, he's a big chunk of his stats. But looking at the medic stats, you can see the differences immediately by just the amount of charges that Raymond is holding over against Kisakali. He's trying to bring back his relevancy in the game with the vaccinator, but I think if you spend 70% of the time with that vaccinator, you're probably having a very, very poor game. It's usually that that unlock that you just fall back on when you in a dire situation and just tells you that the entire game they couldn't get out of that last point of theirs.
Well, don't forget, this is Lowpander, though. This is the team that has played full-time Vaccinator. I mean, don't forget that Champ GG, the very first match in Prem for them was them playing Badlands against Champ GG, where they played Crits and Vaccinator exclusively. So I wouldn't really get that get that conclusion from the Vaccinator play. I mean, I think
maybe
definitely at the end of the map, like in the last 5 minutes, they were definitely just playing Vaccinator so they could, you know, get get those fast pushes in, because that's definitely something that Lowpander likes to try, is just play Vaccinator, try to be pushing as much as possible, basically, because you don't have to, you know, deal with the Uber, just pop off, you know, bubbles whenever you can. So I wouldn't really say that is a lot of weaknesses, I guess, from playing a lot of Vaccinator, but yeah, definitely there was a lot of. I mean, it wasn't a very good match for Kisakawa, yeah.
I know. Maybe agree to disagree. I think when the dust settles between running the Vaccinator full time or not, I think everyone's of the opinion now that if you start running Vaccinator outside of that last point, it's just not as effective. And if you do make it work, it's props to you. I'm not going to discourage Lowpander from attempting them, but I still think it's a good sign just to look at the state of the game. Anyway, moving on to our next stat, we have got the mids, and it was actually very back and forth for both of these teams. I thought the majority was going towards Se7en, but there it goes to show that even if Se7en lost these mids, they were doing a good job of winning these rounds, clawing it back. So Se7en just showing how well-rounded they are as a team to not only gain back from losing, but also just making these effective snowballs as well. But good job on Lowpander though, getting that one round. I mean, it was the first round as well. That's a lot of control that you can start at the beginning of the game. You can really dig your heels in, but they just couldn't find the safe space over on Lowpander to really dictate that pace of the game. Relative frags by zone, so this goes to show you whereabouts they were dominating on the map for both of these teams just when it came to pure fragging, and obviously as expected a 5-1 score will kind of lean towards the red team, Se7en, with the majority of the frags there. They did lose out on the last point, but that is just more due to the fact that I think Se7en were very rarely pushed to the last point, and when they were, it was that first round where they just lost immediately with it.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. There was not really a lot of successful, straight up just pushes into last. I mean, they were most of the time sitting on Lowpander was sitting on their second after losing a mid, so
yeah, you can see that supported evidence from this frag percentage by zone as well. 7%, that's literally probably one round in there. Well, 29%, that's the majority of the game spent on that last point. Again, Kisakawa still stuck on that Vaccinator, just constantly on the back foot, keeping himself at that last point. It's very difficult for him to push back out with it. And if he did push back out, he usually got pushed back into that last point. And you can even, they were pushed. Looking at these conversion rates, and it's very, very high for Se7en there on that 83% conversion rate. So they only lost out on one attempt, I guess, at that last push, where they actually lost a point as well. So again, supporting more claims about the Vaccinator, but I feel like I'm just rubbing it in your face at this point.
Wow, lucky you. Well, I mean, I'm just saying that they like playing Vaccinator. I'm not saying that. I mean, there's.
I know I'm being a sore loser.
Okay, well,
I'm sorry. We'll go to counselling.
I don't even know how.
Say no.
I don't even know how. Look. Just saying that they push out with Vaccinator a lot. They're not the kind of team to go back into spawn and switch to Uber, because they like trying to do Uber exchanges. and then or like try to like if Se7en, you know, fails an Uber push, and that's the perfect opportunity to just go in, get the med early, and then just keep pushing with Vaccinator, keep those bubbles up, have the advantage into those I guess technically dry pushes, but they just never got into the position to really use it, because I mean the only time they really got to push out was that time when Ubers went through rollout and popped that banner, or not buff banner, the battalion's backup, and we know how that ended. That there was one pick, and then everything fell apart. So, yeah.
All right, so we're just I think at some of the final screens here, we can see where Biscari was getting a good game from. He just had the core controlled over on the side of Lowpander. Had Uber under control as well as Hildrift, showing off a good kill difference of 7 actually against Ubers. That's a bit shocking, really. Usually Ubers has a very solid game where he's just not getting any deaths, and but he's getting a majority of the kills, and maybe they're starting to catch on over on the side of 7, realizing that Ubers is a big force to deal with, and they've put Biscari on the job, and he has worked out wonders for the team.
Yeah, there were a lot of plays that like Ubers was trying to make, and it just wasn't working out. If you remember the logs, he had 23 deaths, the most deaths of anyone on the server. So, yeah, there was definitely Ubers was not able to make as many plays as I guess he wanted to. Seems like we have some interviewees here. We have Kisakala, the medic for Lowpander, and Ali, the constant sacking demo from Se7en.
Hi.
Well,
Ali is here. There he is. So, Ali, how do you feel that the success rate for the Ali sacks is now 3 out of 8 instead of 3 out of 3?
I feel really depressed about that, actually.
It seemed like you were trying all game to get that, but it just wasn't working out.
I was pretty close twice. Like I killed him once, and then I got 2 other ones that was pretty close. But in the end, like, it's not always about the sack working in itself. Like, it's also about when they push out, they make mistakes, which we try to punish them as they push out, basically. I mean, we were in the lead the whole time anyway, so like there was no pressure on me to do anything because the time was ticking down and we were in the lead. So I don't know. I don't really care.
So what was the thought process going through the team when it was like 20 minutes in and it was still 0-0 on that granary map? I guess this question can extend to both teams, but I guess Kisakala, you can start.
I don't know. It kind of went the way we wanted it to. In a way. I mean, it was slow and painful, but I mean, we don't really care that way. We enjoy it.
How the fuck do you enjoy it?
Well, Ali, what was the team comms for your team like?
Pretty messy, but I mean, we try to stay focused, and we knew that we just needed one round to get ourselves back into the game, like mentally. So we kept grinding those stalemates.
So do you think it's awfully gimmicky? Do you think it's only going to work this well this one time, and now that you're caught onto it, it's not going to happen again if you guys meet again?
What is not going to work? What do you mean?
As in, now that you know that they're just not going to turn up to mid, do you think you're not going to be shocked by this sentry gun?
We're not going to play them again, are we? Or is there a lower bracket?
In the finals,
there is a lower bracket, but what if you meet them again, Ali?
Well, if we meet them again and they don't come to mid, we'll just take middle and we'll stalemate.
So you do everything the same, is what you're saying?
I mean, what else can you do? You take middle and then you can't really push into their second. Like, if they have a sentry and shit, like, you have to stalemate that. There's no other thing. Like, we try to get dragged behind to break that stalemate, like, try to get a pick. But other than that, I mean, there's nothing we can do
Yeah.
unless we want to throw the game. But yeah.
So now that we're in playoff, guys, we actually get to see a bit of map picks and bans. We don't really get a chance to point this out on the stream as we just quickly rushed on to going straight live. But how much effort was put into the maps picking and banning tonight? Was there a lot of homework done from either side? Kisakala, I'm going to point this at you first. Did you guys think about your maps at all?
I mean, yeah, for about 5 minutes. Hildreth, literally before the game started, he was asking, maybe an hour before the game started, he asked what maps we want to play, if we want to do the picks now. And when we were like, all right, we're going to pick these maps, and that was it.
All right, talk me through them, Kisakala, if you don't mind me asking. I mean, maybe you're giving away some of your strategy later on in the playoffs, but was there any sort of reasonings to some of these maps and picks and bans?
Reasoning. Well, it's hard to call it reasoning exactly, but to some extent, I'm not gonna give out our strats.
All right.
But basically, one of the big things was that Hildreth needed to poop during the map picks, so
Yeah,
we just
noticed.
wanted it to get done as fast as possible.
All right.
So that was honestly it.
Fair. Ali, how about you? Did you guys think majorly into these map
No,
picks and bans?
we just pick maps we're comfortable on. That's it.
All right, fair. But I'm not sure about you, Hiipfire. I don't think I've got many questions tonight.
Well, I want to ask a question to Kisakala. So,
Go ahead.
now that with this weird situation where you're fifth seed but you're in playoffs, and I mean you guys just lost to Se7en, but I feel like kind of similar to the official we had before, it was maybe a little bit expected. So how you guys are gonna go into this next match, the losers round one against I guess either what is it, Arctic Foxes or Nerd Rage? It's probably gonna be Arctic Foxes, and I wanna know, are you guys gonna try to well, I mean, it's just a guess, an educated guess here, okay? Work with me here.
Fair enough.
It's just making a hypothetical situation here.
All right.
And
Personally, I'm expecting it to be AF, though can't be certain about that, but yeah, we're definitely gonna try, obviously. But
Yeah.
we'll probably see some gimmicks. Once again. That what you were gonna ask? I don't know if it was.
Like, it would definitely be a very important match, since I mean that was the match you had in week 4 or week 5 against Arctic Fox was definitely like the match that was like, are you guys gonna make playoffs or not? So
yeah,
it's gonna be a very, I guess, important match for you guys, probably. Maybe deciding if you guys even want to go, playing next season and stuff.
Oh, actually, I do have one more question I can quickly squeeze out for both these players. Kisakala, we were talking about both the teams earlier about who you could match up against, but who do you want to play in your next game? Who would you rather play against? Would you rather play against Arctic Foxes first or Nerd Rage?
I mean, honestly, we don't really mind either one that much. Like, on a good day, I think we can beat either. It sounds like a big, big promise, but honestly think at best we can beat both.
Okay, fair. What about you, Ali? Is there a particular team you want to see?
care.
Oh my god.
Ooh.
Where are these passionate players? They've got...
We'll slam anybody.
Sounds like a challenge for the other teams.
I thought I had a good question there for a second, but...
Personally, I think AF probably is a bit easier team to beat overall, though they do have, some similar gimmicks like, the quick fix, and, they kind of know how to play against the Highlanders stuff. But overall, I'd still say AF. Personally, I can't speak for the team, but yeah.
All right. Okay, I'm definitely done with questions now, Hiipfire. How about you?
Yeah, I'll the next match questions then slightly underwhelming, but yes, I'd say that I'm out of questions.
Thanks, buddy. Okay.
No problem.
I want to thank you guys for coming to the interview and as a little
you
thank
very
you
much.
gift, we're gonna give you guys both a shout out, but let's start in alphabetical order. So, Ali, have you got any shout outs for anybody?
Shout out to Full Tilt. That's it.
All right. Kiss Carla, any shout outs?
Shout out to Julius Bart, then my team, and obviously you guys for casting. Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, yeah.
All right,
very
Hiipfire.
nice. I guess thank you to TurboTabs for continuing to tolerate me as a caster and letting me cast these games, even playoff games that are slightly important. Thank you to Amik for producing. Always got a shout out to producer. And yeah, thank you to the teams for making it a surprisingly interesting match to watch.
I don't know about that.
Okay, well, it was interesting for me.
I enjoyed both games. I thought, yeah, I really enjoyed both of them.
I felt TurboTabs' comment during Granary about that this is a very interesting match for the thinking viewer. That it was kind of cool to
a slower game plays into like a chess-like sort of game, you know.
Definitely.
Careful steps.
Definitely.
All right. Okay. So let me close this out with some shout-outs of my own. I'm going to give a little plug to Mick and his stream because I know he can't do it, and if he had a voice on this stream, he would. So I'm going to plug it for him. It's tune into twitch.tv/Mick__ for I guess for your Mick needs, to know the man behind the camera. And I'm going to give a nice shout out to my co-caster as well, Hiipfire, even though I kind of maybe roasted him about that vaccinator a little too hard at the end of the logs there. Do forgive me, do forgive. Big shout out to my interviewees who, you know, I don't even need to find them. They come and find me. I mean, could you ask for any better interviewees? Big shout out to Ale and Kizakala for joining us in the interview. But the biggest shout out to you guys, yes, you guys at home, for watching teamfortress.tv. It's been a wonderful cast. This has been ETF2L Season 26, powered by TET Esports. This has been our upper bracket round 1. Granary, Reckoner, Gully Washworth, the map picks for the Lowpander versus Se7en game. I've been TurboTabs. With me on the co-cast was Hiipfire, Mick on the production. We thank you all and good night.